Green juice detoxing. How do you do it right? How do you do it properly so you get long-term results and you feel fantastic, you reach your health goals and everything in between? On this video, I'm going to share with you a specific protocol which will help you through the process to do it the right way so you can achieve all of your goals. Protocol for doing a green juice detox my way, and in my opinion this is probably the best way because I've refined it over many years, and I find that even though it's a bit harder, that the results that you get are far more satisfying and beneficial at the end. Okay, so some fundamentals, kind of 11 key points that I want to cover in this protocol that if you follow, I guarantee that you'll feel euphoric, you'll feel ecstatic, you'll feel amazing, your skin will glow, you'll feel probably in the best health that you've ever felt, and you'll just love it. You'll have a different experience of wanting and desiring to take care of your long-term health and to implement new decisions what you eat based on choice rather than I need to have that because somebody told me to. So it will be almost like ingrained inside you. So the first point I want to cover is to know your outcome, know what you want to achieve from doing this. This is the most critical part of it. If you haven't seen my videos on 10 common mistakes that people make when making changes to their health, I highly recommend you check out at least one of those, which is about setting goals around your health. But it's to look at, okay, what are you wanting to achieve by doing this? Are you wanting to lose fat? Are you wanting to gain energy? Are you wanting to get mental clarity? Maybe it's all of those. But the more specific you can be, the better. So for example, for me, at the moment, I've just completed one. My goal with this was just to emotionally detox, but also most importantly just allow myself time out, a break, my body to just reset and reset some eating habits. But my main one that's very specific, and you should always have something that's very specific, is body fat percentage. So I've been going to the gym quite often and I have not been able to shift my body fat percentage. It's always stayed around between 17 to 20, and I haven't been able to get it below that. So my goal is to basically to get it to 13%. So it's very specific and I can measure that. This is something else that I'm trying to see how that impacts it. So before you go on this, know your outcome, because this is not something that's going to happen just in this 7 days. It's not, it's going to just catapult me in the right direction. This is going to happen over 3 months, right? So think over 3 months, like where do you want to be in 3 months? Where do you want yourself to be? What is your goal? What's your outcome? What are you aiming to achieve in that time? 2, if it's the first time you've done this, and I'm going to recommend that the juices and the smoothies that I recommend are all non-sugar based. So they're all alkaline. Now you might not like the taste of these and you might find them as not as palatable as perhaps other people, but you will get used to them. Like the first few times you're like, oh my God, this guy's serious. And then you start getting used to them and you realise it works. But my recommendation is that it's the first time you've done it. And you start on the smoothies, you start having the fibre within the food. So it'll just be a more gentle approach. So the first 3 days that you have smoothies, we've got a link into my ketogenic green smoothie. I'll be doing more of those as well. Also ketogenic soup I think we've got, and also an alkaline green juice. So all of those links will be posted below this video. So any of those drinks are basically complementary of this protocol. The point is that if it's the first time you're doing it, you incorporate the fibres for the first 3 days, and then the last 2 days you just do the juices. 3, this protocol doesn't include any fructose, so fruit sugars. So I'm recommending green juices. We've got some juices that kind of complement that, but they're low in sugar, very low sugar fruit, so lemon and limes you can use. to kind of really make it taste good. But any other high sugar fruits, this is perhaps why I don't agree with a lot of the juice cleansers out there. Yes, they're great for replenishing minerals and vitamins and all of that stuff, but they're not so great because they incorporate a lot of fruit sugars, and then your body's still burning sugar as a fuel instead of fat. And so my goal by the end of this is that you're going to be burning fat as a fuel. You're going to experience that. 4 is to drink consciously, and equally we've also got how much water you should drink in a day, so that link is posted below in the description for that video, so I highly recommend you check that out. And when I say drink consciously, I mean have sips. Don't just neck a pint and then neck a pint every hour. It's better if you're just taking sips here and there and you're just drinking all day long. 5, use essential fats. So see, I've got this Udo's oil here. Udo's oil is a great supplement for daily use, in fact, but it's amazing especially for detoxing. So this is what I use if I'm feeling very low in energy, but quite often what I'll do is I'll have this with me in the morning or at lunchtime, so I can have 100 mils of it in the morning and maybe another 100 mils at lunchtime if you're feeling a bit off. But when you're feeling off, again, this is a great tool because it'll make you feel better, you'll get your energy back, and it really helps for all of the cells in your body to release the toxic waste that's coming out. So highly recommend that you use that as a tool to help you feel better and to support you in the detoxification process. 6, good quality multivitamin. This isn't essential because you're going to get a lot of the vitamins from the juices. I would also recommend that you use them, especially if it's the first time, second time. Make sure you get a plant source, organic. I don't have a specific brand to recommend here, unfortunately, but don't just get any old brand from Brutes. Get a plant source one with no crappy ingredients in it. Kind of do your research. I will post a link down to a good quality one in this video when we found it. I've been just using one from the health resort and I don't have it with me, so forgive me, and I have checked it out. It's a good quality one, but highly recommend. That's an important factor, especially if you're doing it for the first time. 7, find a formula that removes the toxic waste from your bowels, from your body. So as you can see, I've got 3 things in fact which are great, which will support the process. One is chlorella paranoidosa. So it's a specific type of chlorella. This one's from Key Science. Basically what that does, it's not just any chlorella. Be careful about what you buy because there are some bad chlorellas out there, and most of it's vulgaris, which is a different type of chlorella. This specific chlorella kind of sucks things up, and then it's a binder to toxins. So anything that's coming out will bind to the chlorella and then it will come out of you. The problem is you start detoxing and it can just get stuck and just get reabsorbed into your bloodstream. So this stuff is amazing for just sucking it up, taking it out. So is this. I'd recommend just using either or, not both. This one specifically brand, I like this intestinal drawing formula. Things like bentonite clay, charcoal, especially chia seed, slippery elm bark. Yeah, it's got lots of great stuff in it. Zeolite, of course, zeolite clay and bentonite clay. So that stuff is great at sucking things out and removing them so that they come out your bowels. So it's like a great tool for that. Now you have to be careful because I have in the past, I've taken too much of it and then it's just clogged me up. So you have to be a bit careful about how much you take. So just take a teaspoon, maybe once a day or twice a day. And you've got to find your own balance of what's the right amount for you. And then if you do get clogged up, there is this intestinal moving formula. So this will help your intestines to move things through. It wasn't necessarily appropriate for me because my bowels are moving fairly well at the moment anyway, so I didn't need to use this. But if you've got a fairly stagnant bowel, you're not moving it at least once or twice a day, then this is probably a good tool to use. If you are, then you probably don't need it, but then you might need it if you OD on this. So it's kind of like you've got to balance these 2 things out a bit. 8, I highly recommend that you do colonics. Finding a decent colonic hydrotherapist is essential, not just doing any one. I've had some bad experiences and I've got kind of pretty mixed results. A good colonic hydrotherapist just understands the process that you're going through. They also understand how to manipulate or just massage your belly in the right way. It's worth doing a research to find, or paying a bit more to get a decent colonic hydrotherapist. Or come to a retreat centre where they have one, or at worst case scenario do an enema, but an enema is perhaps less effective, but it still does a good job. So definitely incorporate that into this program. It's a very important part of it because you've got to remove all of that waste and support it to come out. The next point is to make sure you have a probiotic. I don't have one here. I've been taking again the resorts. They've been giving me daily probiotics. I didn't bring any with me. A specific brand I recommend is the Megaspore probiotic. It is expensive, but basically the difference with the Megaspore probiotic is it's almost like the seed of the probiotic instead of the actual probiotic. It's almost like it's planting a seed instead of like most probiotics, so they're kind of plant that's already grown and they put it in the ground. With the Megaspore, it's not only just the seed and then allowing the seed to grow, it also has a much wider spectrum of the correct bacteria that we need in our gut. So Megaspore probiotics are awesome. Highly recommend that you use that as your formula during this process. The only drawback I'd say with that one is it can make your tummy feel a bit strange sometimes if you're new to it, but it soon corrects itself. But that's normally a good point. It's kind of just process of something new. It doesn't do anything to your gut. Final point is, if you've done this before, I wouldn't recommend this for first timers, but if you have done this before, I highly recommend that you end this. So on the 4th or 5th day, you do a liver flush. What is a liver flush? For those of you who don't know, there's a very famous health book by Andreas Moritz called The Amazing Liver Flush or something like that. Read that book if you can, if you have any interest. But you don't necessarily need to. The advantage of doing a liver flush is it has everything function after you've done it at a higher level, because we have these stones in our liver that we're not even aware of, we're not told about, but we have these kind of globules of fat that's stuck in the bile ducts of your liver, and at the end of a juice fast is the best time to do a liver flush, and they're awesome. I've just completed one this morning and I'm blown away all the time by what comes out. It's without going into too much detail, it's both scary and exciting because you realise you don't no longer have that in your liver bile ducts anymore, and then afterwards you feel so much lighter and more alive again. It's an incredible feeling. So highly recommend that you complete that with a liver flush, but doing it in the right way. I will do another video on liver flushing the correct way, or what I believe is the correct way. And then finally is to complete your juice detox with at least another 24 hours when you go onto solid foods of just having raw foods. Don't go back to cooked foods yet. Slowly allow your digestive system to have water-rich foods, high in water, high in the correct enzymes, food to be digested in, and just eat well. Get into specific raw salads. Go to a raw restaurant. Go to a restaurant that has a vegan menu. Stay away from the animal proteins for at least another 24-48 hours if possible, and just enjoy it. Stop and savour every mouthful you take and chew slowly. So at the time of filming this video, we're purely counting on your donations. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. We've got stacks more videos coming your way. Don't forget to share this video. If you think it could improve somebody else's life for the better, click the share button and share it with them right now. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video.